So now, as our next item, shall we turn to the sneak peek at IHRP's refreshed body of competencies?
Yes, I'm really excited to share some of the great research and validation that has gone into developing this refresh. Let's listen in, shall we, as we discover those emerging competencies that can help to uplift and future-proof the HR profession.
Great.
Good morning. Welcome to the video teaser of the BoC Refresh. As you know, the BoC, commonly known as the Body of Competencies, was first developed by IHRP way back in 2016 to capture the behaviors and competencies expected of the HR practitioner. 4 years later, it's time to refresh the Body of Competencies with the emerging themes that impact the expectations of the HR function today. The objective of this project is to create behaviors and competencies expected of the future-focused HR professional. Today, we're going to walk you through some of the details of this project that began the middle of this year in July. We're going to share some insights and give you a sneak peek to the exciting deliverables that are soon to be launched. So who are we? My name is Kabir Nath, and I'm joined by my colleague, Hannah Lennon. Both Hannah and myself have had the pleasure to lead this project for Mercer and guide IHRP through this initiative. We're part of a large team who came together to refresh the BoC. Let's start with the steering committee. Led by our co-chairs, Ms. Eileen Tan, the CHRO of Singtel, and Ms. Kekim Loh, director at Skills Future. We had wonderful representation from RE, SHRM, HCLI, PSD, and Roden Schwartz. As you can see, we're all smiling, and I'm sure you can recognize some of the colleagues in the image on the screen. We also had a content review task force that comprised of 9 leading HR professionals from across Singapore. They played a critical role in this BoC refresh because they brought an outside-in perspective across each and every milestone that we crossed together. We were also supported by a large project team that had representatives from IHRP, MOM, and Skills Future Singapore. The Mercer project team, of course, comprised of a core project team, which was supported by 6 SMEs. So let's jump straight into it. What was the purpose of the refresh and what were we trying to do? The aim was really to define the competencies required for future-focused HR professionals to deliver impactful employee experiences and create value for the business. Simply put, the aim of this project was to refresh the BoC so that it remains a relevant, actively used, and dynamic source of information over the next 2 to 3 years. What did the BoC refresh focus on? First, the objective was to revise the competencies in line with the emerging themes that are changing the expectation from the HR function. In a few minutes, I'll guide you through the 6 emerging themes that guided our refresh. My colleague Hannah will then walk you through how we brought the BoC to life. She'll walk you through some of the case studies we developed, as well as the digital interactive web portal that now hosts this very rich body of competencies. So how did we refresh the BoC? We began our journey by engaging leading HR voices that comprised of course, Mercer subject matter experts, but also our content review task force that had members from UPS, Comfort Delgro, Singtel, Solutions at Work, EOS, Sembcorp Industries, OCBC, SMU, and Luxasia. And just looking at that list of companies, I'm sure you can appreciate the diversity and the rich perspectives that we received from this group. Like I said, they played a critical role in providing an industry outside-in perspective We also implemented different research methods. We reviewed 6 international HR competency frameworks with the aim of developing a global perspective on what is expected from the HR function. We also analyzed a number of leading research papers and articles. To supplement this really rich qualitative insight, we followed a quantitative approach as well, where we scraped data over 100,000 job descriptions and 800,000 professional profiles to identify trends in the requirements that organizations seek from their HR professionals. At every stage, and this is what I'm most proud of, we validated insights, discussions, feedback, and deliverables with the industry. We managed to conduct 10 interactive focus group sessions over 26 hours of Zoom calls. Yes, 26 hours of Zoom calls. And I'm really happy to share that we had 59 organizations ranging from SMEs to MNCs, all sharing their diverse sector-wide perspectives. Now, what did that translate to? And how and what drove the changes that we made to the BoC? I'm sure you're all familiar with the circle in the center of the slide. It's the BoC wheel, comprised of the HR mindsets and behaviors, the functional competencies, and the foundational competencies. What you see surrounding this BoC wheel are the 6 themes that emerged from our very rich feedback and research methodology. I'm going to walk you through each of the emerging themes. In our conversations and research, one of the key outputs and voices that we heard was around HR's role as the strategic business enabler. Gone are the days that HR is only solving HR problems. Today, HR is solving much larger business problems. In fact, many leaders echo the sentiment around not referring to HR as a function supporting the business, rather HR being a critical part of the business. And how is HR supposed to do this? They're supposed to champion the people agenda while balancing business priorities. The role of HR as a strategic consultative enabler is only going to increase in the coming years. The second theme that's very critically impacting the expectations of the HR function is around, of course, digitalization. We see so many organizations increase the pace at which they're transforming themselves digitally, and HR is leading the way through this transformation. Today, HR professionals are expected to solve business problems using technology and analytics so as to make work more agile and back decisions through evidence. No matter which sector you operate in, work is being transformed at a frantic pace. The new shape of work we see organizations reinvent for flexibility, sustainability, and value. And HR is today the custodian of reimagining how work gets done in this ever-changing business environment. HR's role in redesigning jobs, identifying current and future skill capabilities for the organization, as well as changing workforce composition so as to meet future strategic business drivers, are critical areas and facets of an HR professional today. Employee experience. Today, HR needs to think holistically about the various touch points across the employee lifecycle. HR needs to enable employees to connect more fully with their work and really make work more meaningful and productive. Ethics, purpose, and sustainability. We see a huge focus on organizations investing in meeting their ESG objectives. HR here too plays a critical role in enabling employees to connect more directly with the organization's purpose. Today, HR influences leadership to inspire trust, ethical accountability, and to create a sustainable organization. Lastly, the theme that resonated most as we discussed and researched how the HR function is changing is around the theme around balancing empathy with economics. Of course, this is quite relevant of the business scenarios and circumstances we're all dealing with today. COVID has grappled many organizations. In fact, today organizations are having to take very difficult economic decisions. HR needs to strike a balance between these economic decisions as well as empathy. HR needs to remain agile and continue to focus on the employee as an individual and champion flexibility while trying to deal with the ambiguous business scenario that we all operate in today. So hopefully these 6 themes resonate with you. These themes have steered the course of this refresh and have translated into various enhancements of the BoC. Before I give you a flavor of the changes made to the BoC, let me very quickly walk you through the famous BoC wheel. The outer layer of this wheel represents the HR mindsets and behaviors. These are the characteristics that are manifested in HR practitioners in the way they think and behave. They're expected of all HR professionals, and they're expected to come out in the way people work, deal with people, and manage related situations. The second layer in the BoC wheel is the functional competencies. Now, these are, of course, the functional related competencies tagged to the different HR's jobs across the employee life cycle. And right in the heart of the BoC wheel are the foundational competencies. These serve as the core enablers. Regardless of where you are within the HR function, you're expected to exhibit these behaviors. Now, the 6 themes that I walked you through, of course, have impacted the BoC in various ways. And unfortunately, I won't be able to take you through all of the enhancements we've made. Let me walk you through some of the key changes. You'll see at the outer level, which is your HR mindsets and behaviors, we have added a new HR mindset and behavior, and we've called it Enable the Employee Experience. I've walked you through why that's so critical in today's climate, but just to double down on the intention behind this edition, we've tried to underline the importance HR plays in making work easier, more productive, and more meaningful. And to continuously holistically think about the employee experience, right from when the employee joins the organizations to when the organization leaves the organization. And we feel this is a key mindset and behavior that HR professionals will be expected to exhibit and enable over the next couple of years. We've spoken around empathy and economics, balancing empathy with economics. And this is one of those themes that we've tried to embed across the body of competencies. Let's look at the functional competencies, separate, which is really about supporting employees as they leave the organization. We have underlined this theme by embedding the importance of creating a more human exit experience. When you think about planning and planning for ambiguous situations, we've embedded the concept around agility so as to ensure businesses are well supported as they plan for the future. And when you think about engage, we've integrated holistic wellness and the concept of personalization across areas such as benefits. We've even added concepts of total rewards. So with that, hope you get a flavor of the type of changes that we've made to the BoC. Now I'm going to hand over to Hannah, who's going to walk you through how we plan to bring the BoC to life. Over to you, Hannah.
Thanks, Kabir, and thanks everyone for taking the time to listen to us today. So as Kabir was sharing with you, what we really wanted to achieve through this refresh is building a body of competencies that the HR community wants to interact with, We know that the BoC is a really important resource for HR professionals in Singapore, and that it plays a really critical role in their professional development and enabling the community to adapt for the future. So we wanted to really bring the body of competencies to life in some new ways. The two main ways that we've done this is by creating 6 case studies and also by creating an interactive web portal. I'm going to take a few minutes to take you through both of these today. Let's start with the 6 case studies. We know that the HR community is going through lots of different challenges at the moment, so we thought it would be a great way to bring the BoC to life by zooming in on 6 organisations and understanding how they have applied their HR competencies to bring value for their businesses. We've tied these 6 case studies in with the 6 themes that Kabir talked you through, so that these are really relevant for what's happening at the moment and enabling you to get an insight to what your peers are doing. We really want to show how HR professionals can bring that value to the business, and we hope that these act as an inspiring way to engage. We have structured the case studies into 3 different parts. We have a challenge, we then look at the solution, and finally we look at the results. Ultimately, these parts are all then tied back in to explain which competencies were used to deliver this success. I'm going to take a few moments now to show you an example. We had the privilege of interviewing Chi Keat from Singtel, their Director of Learning and Development, to understand more about how Singtel are using reskilling and job redesign to transform their workforce for the future of as a digital business. You'll see that this case study moves through understanding more about this challenge they were overcoming, to then letting you really dive into the details of the approach that Singtel took as they developed this solution. You'll see there's quite a lot of detail here. Through these case studies, one of our real focuses was ensuring that you could actually see the steps that had been put in place and really get inspired and have some ideas of how you could translate this into your own organizations. Once we've looked through the solution, we then move to the results. We're very focused on showing the impact through these case studies. And finally, at the bottom, we end with making a success, where you're able to see the HR competencies that are part of the BoC that enabled organisations like Singtel to successfully add value and overcome these challenges. So we hope these case studies are an inspiring way to think about what you can do for your organisations in the future. Alongside these case studies, we also have an interactive web portal. We're very conscious that competency frameworks often gather dust on hard drives as cumbersome Word documents. We wanted to create something that is really ready for the digital future that we all live in. This interactive web portal makes it easy for everyone to interact with the BoC, whether you're a fresh graduate considering a career in HR or a mid-career HR professional who wants to understand how they might need to adapt their competencies for the future. This web portal that we're able to see on desktop as it is today, but it's also mobile friendly, enables you to zoom in on exactly the information you need when you need it. We have built this web portal with the end user in mind, focused on creating a simple, seamless approach. You'll see on the homepage here that the web portal is very much anchored around the body of competencies wheel that we're all familiar with. You're able to navigate around the different parts of this, clicking into different types of competencies, for instance, these foundational competencies, and then moving quickly over to areas such as the plan functional competencies. It really enables the user to find what they need. We've built in different interactive elements so that you're able to digest the content as it works for you. Alongside the competencies, this web portal also hosts the use cases and some information on the BoC context. As well as showcasing the competencies in this interactive wheel format, we've also added a search function so that if there's something in particular you want to look at, you're able to easily zoom in and find that. So we hope that everyone will really find an engaging experience to use this interactive web portal. I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to us today, and for those of you on this call who might have helped us as part of the validation and industry research for this project. We hope you enjoyed this teaser, and please do look out for the formal launch of the Body of Competencies in 2021 and get ready to use these fantastic new tools. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to our friends at Mercer. And I think it was really interesting, Karina, to get that preview of the refreshed BoC and to think about and to hear about empathy and economics in particular. Now, this really resonated with a number of HR professionals with whom we validated the content. It's a really exciting time to be in HR, so we'd love to encourage our HR colleagues to bring these competencies to life as they implement their HR strategies moving forward. So one thing we've managed to do is to capture a few words from Ms. Jolene Chen as she shares about how she has incorporated some of these aspects at Prudential. So let's have a listen.
Yes.
We have now an opportunity to reimagine the future of work. So what does this mean? Technology is reshaping the way we live and work, transforming how we connect and interact and the skills that we need to build. The second area is there is increasing expectations from employees about the role of the organizations and leaders to provide direction and reassurance, and to co-create meaning, especially during this period of time. We will want to build a collective identity, cohesiveness, and resilience, helping to create a sense of belonging. This represents a shift in how leaders engage and communicate. Employees dedicate the time, energy, and passion to their jobs. It is for us as leaders to enable them to bring their true selves to work and to give them a voice so that they can fully contribute to the success of the business. We in HR has a firm seat at the table, defining and enhancing employee skills, building new capabilities, creating a flexible workforce, and creating a strong identity and a sense of belonging. And because we are asking our staff to put in so much of themselves to embrace change, psychological safety is important, where failure is accepted and even encouraged, provided we fail fast and gain valuable insight from our failures. So, for me, together with our employees, we co-create the future. I am aligned with the company purpose to help people to get the most out of life, and we are living that shared purpose every day. This, for me, is the meaning in what I do. Thank you.
That was such an inspiring message from Jolene, in particular about how it is up to us as leaders to engage and enable employees to bring their true selves to work so that they can fully contribute to the success of the business. And talking about leadership, many of our IHRP master professionals and their HR teams have had to really step up to the plate to address COVID challenges in 2020. Let's listen in as they share about their experiences.
Great.
Hi, I'm Hui King here from the Ministry of Communications and Information. I'm very happy to share with you what our team has done over the past year. 2020 has been an exceptionally challenging but fulfilling year. When COVID first reached Singapore's shore early this year, our organization went into overdrive to support the nation's response to COVID. We had to put up regular updates and organize media conferences so as to keep the public informed. Similarly, our corporate arms had to step up to ensure the business could continue.
During the early days of the pandemic, things were pretty chaotic. I remember receiving my very first phone call during Chinese New Year, where my boss, contacted me in the middle of a movie screening to tell me to get ready for a pandemic that seems to be coming along our way. So the early days were really about securing our hostels, because there were many international students that were returning, and we wanted to ensure that they were isolated for 14 days and the rest of the university community is kept safe and secure. Later on, the next big challenging task is really the BCP, ensuring that we are able to put people into Team A and Team B work arrangements. I recall also staying back till midnight, past midnight, with my chief risk officer to put people into their respective teams and to ensure that there is no opportunity for cross-contamination. So that was a mammoth task, and my team and I kind of pulled it off in a record 2 days.
I'm going to share with you some staggering statistics. All in all, you guys did 6,000 contact tracing calls, 18,000 SHN quarantine calls to check on colleagues to make sure they're okay, distributed 80,000 care packs, answered 4,000 employee queries, conducted 60 COVID and mental well-being webinars. On top of that, you started the Together movement to galvanize staff, to engage staff. You conducted hangouts, count your blessings, learning festivals. In June, you conducted Future Forward Week. 11,000 employees attended 50 sessions conducted by 100 speakers. On top of that, you hired 450 interns, 2,000 new employees, including 500 SG United and 100 SG UP.
When COVID hit us, we needed to think fast and differently. We needed to partner with universities, redesign the way that we sourced, assessed, recruited, onboarded talent so that the flow of activities would not stop and SAP would continue to offer thousands of opportunities to students and graduates who are just starting their career. Our teams that are responsible for internship programs had to reinvent themselves and in a very short time completely redesign our SAP internship experience program to go 100% virtual and continue to meet business expectations while observing the regular campus hiring schedules. This is no small task and required a lot of understanding, tenacity, boldness to try something completely new. And as we approach the last month of a very demanding year, I am absolutely proud to say that we quickly adapted, displayed enormous agility and perseverance, and are actually closing the year having expanded the program to more participants, more business units, and more locations in the world.
We came together as a community, being there for each other. So a huge thank you and a sincere personal gratitude for all the inspiration that you have provided me. Thank you.
Wow, it's really inspiring to hear about the amazing achievements driven by the HR teams. Thank you to all of you. We also took the opportunity to ask some of our IHRP master professionals about 2021. It's coming up in just a few more days, and how they see the need for HR to evolve, to embrace the new normal. Let's tune in to listen, shall we?
Yeah.
So the other day I was thinking about what I'll say in a few years from today about 2020, what I am taking from this experience. And I tell you for sure that what I'm taking with me from this year is the incredible tenacity and ability to reinvent ourselves that I saw and I experienced during the year. Despite the immense difficulties, sorrow, and losses, we saw people getting together, having a common goal, working with purpose, focusing on what is important and what is really, really essential for all of us.
As we went through phases of new, next, or current normals, as we would call it, we played an organizational leadership role in helping build resilience in being a voice of hope, and in showing deep care for the health, safety, and well-being of our workforce.
The world is going to change vastly. Embrace the changes, equip yourself with a growth mindset, continuously learn, relearn, unlearn.
With every crisis, there will always be opportunities. This is the time for the HR community to embark on the re-journey, reset, reimagine, reinvent, rejuvenate, and re-energize. The new HR will need to be agile and be able to run small experiments to fail fast, learn fast, and scale up. Being adaptable, positive, and resilient will be essential traits for HR professionals. The onus is now on us, whether to choose to ride on this wave of change to accelerate our re-journey, or choose to revert to the old ways after the crisis is over. I encourage everyone to use this opportunity to continue to build and strengthen our new muscles so that we emerge stronger as one HR community.
Such great words of wisdom shared by the IHRP Master Professionals, Karina. So our sincere thanks to everyone who took the time out of their extremely busy schedules to provide us with these absolutely wonderful videos. This is very much appreciated. And as Eileen mentioned, what we're going through now is a great opportunity to build and strengthen our new muscles so that we can emerge stronger as one HR community. It's about coming together as a community to sustain our organizations and our people.